Thank you, firstly, on behalf of everyone here. My name's Ben, I'm from Australia, and you mentioned about personalisation. I'm very excited about that myself, and talking about those sorts of things that are making telco in Australia at the moment is forefront of mind, and that's certainly spoken about quite a bit. To expand a little bit further on that, delivering more service and being of more value, that Google has really shown the advertising world very successfully. When do you think that the advertising world will respond to that and pick it up? Because really you're still leading the way, and there's a big gap between what you're doing and what, I guess, the general market advertisers are doing, pushing rather than presenting and serving the general population of the world.
Let me start by saying that Australia is leading the world in understanding the importance of fibre. Your new Prime Minister, as part of her campaign and now as in the Prime Ministership, has announced that by roughly, I think, 2015, 2016, 93% of Australians, which I guess are all the folks in the cities, will have gigabit or equivalent service using fibre, and the other 7% will be handled through wireless services of the nature of LTE. This is leadership, and again, from Australia, which I think is wonderful. One way to think about ads in the future is to think about the creativity of ads that you see on television, which are phenomenal. Just, we all know what I'm talking about, and then apply that to a mobile device in a personal way. And to me, the tools and technologies that will allow us to do targeted TV quality ads that are targeted to the unique nature of the individual, again, with their permission and without violating their privacy, which is the key thing, is the next great frontier in advertising. The odyssey, if you look at our display business, which is booming, the display business is fundamentally about telling stories. And as we get better at targeting them, you'll get a better ad. And a better ad is more satisfying to the viewer, right? Because who wants to see an ad that's not relevant to them? And it produces a better return on investment. And I always try to remind people that people advertise to get revenue. They don't advertise because it's fun to see the ads that they paid for. They actually are trying to sell something. It's called commerce. And the evidence that we have in the internet, because the internet is so highly measurable, these ROI-based ads, return on investment ads, are the ones that customers seek first. So there are many, many companies involved in developing these new, more highly targeted, we'll call them display-based or narrative-based ads for this next generation of phones, likely multi-billion-dollar businesses right in front of us. More questions? Over here, yes, Sam.
My name is John Schmidt from Schmidt Consulting. Hi. I have a question regarding Android. You said you will recommend young students come out of university to go mobile first and develop for these platforms. But what we see right now is that Android is a very fragmented platform. That if you develop an application for Android on one device, it actually don't run on other devices. And I think there's a lot of frustration among phone manufacturers and also particularly among developers regarding these challenges. What would you do to avoid that the Android platform is not so fragmented in the future as it is today?
We hear some of this. I think you stated the problem more strongly than I would, but I'll accept that as feedback. Under the terms of our licenses and the open handset agreement, we have an anti-fragmentation clause for all of the vendors who are precisely required to track a set of APIs. The real way in which this is kept together is because of the importance of the App Store. No operator will want to be in the Android ecosystem without getting the benefit of all those applications. And so conformity to those apps, which is what you get with the basic Android releases, I think will serve as the appropriate carrot and stick to get that, rather than forcing everybody lockstep along the platform. In our case, we've released Gingerbread, which everyone's upgraded to. That upgrade takes a month or two, and at that point, everyone will be on a common platform. We should address a lot of your concerns. Yes. Yes, sir.
It's Thomas Christopherson from MoneyGram. Hi.
Hi.
I just wondered if you could share your vision in terms of Google's role on the financial side of Google's future.
By financial, you mean in terms of financial
services and money, managing the money?
So, we're not into banking as a bank. Oh, okay, good. So Larry Sergey has periodically suggested we should offer something called Google Bucks. And I pointed out the regulation issues, et cetera, so it's probably not going to happen. the serious answer is that there's another sort of mega scale opportunity right in front of us. This phone has this chip called the NFC chip, near field. You guys know what these things do. It has basically an 80-character secure element. It's very difficult to break, it's encrypted, and it can be used as a secure ID for electronic transactions. In Europe, which tends to lead, many of the governments and the credit card issues and so forth are working over the next few months to standardize on the use of NFC chips for payments and tap and pay systems. So it goes something like this. You're walking down the street, you're confused, which I am typically. What do I do? And the phone remembers that I need new pants, right? Or in some way, I need some new product. And it knows where I am, and it knows ahead of me is the store on the left and the store on the right. And one is going to offer me a 20% discount, and the other one's going to offer me a 30% discount. It shows me those two offers. It's programmed that I'm a cheapskate, and so I always take the biggest discount on the net revenue basis, and tells me turn right. I walk into the store knows I'm coming, the pants are ready, I sit there and go boom, and out I go. You don't think this is going to work, guys? Trust me. Think about consumerism.
Hi, Eric. This is Sean again. I had asked you a couple of questions last year. A couple of serious ones this time. The first one, what do you think of the WAC and the HTML5 standard with regards to mobile apps, of course? And the second one is, on a more lighter note, do you think Larry should have been here instead of you? And another lighter one.
Hey, we did it in order. Let's start with Larry. Part of the deal is when Larry and I talked about making things more efficient. Larry says, Eric, you get to fly around more. So the answer is he's extremely happy that I'm here, and Larry is probably asleep at the moment, but if he's waking up, he's busy working at his desk, working on products. So the division that we've always, we work as a triumvirate, and Sergey, of course, is working on a whole bunch of new issues, new opportunities, which you'll see. But the partitioning of external-internal is particularly comfortable for both Larry and me. So your first question had to do with HTML5. The HTML5 standard is evolving, and it looks to me like HTML5 will eventually become the way in which almost all applications will be built, including those for phones. There are some features missing, but it's getting there. And remember I said that it's taken 20 years to get to this point? It's because the underlying application standard has to aggregate, if you will, the capabilities that has evolved onto the proprietary Mac and Windows API frameworks. And what's interesting is that all of the vendors, including those with proprietary operating systems, have adopted HTML5 as their future direction. So there's of course Google has already. So there's every reason to believe that eventually means some number of years from now, a lot of the applications you use will be running on HTML5 in a mobile and non-mobile form, and that's another great simplification for developers and a good one. Do you have a third question?
Yes. The third one was, what are in terms of financial trends, what are you seeing with regards to your mobile advertising business?
Well, the thing that has always been most surprising to me is the monetization of the apps. I've been very impressed with the monetization of the apps in the Apple ecosystem, and we've seen a similar trend in the Android ecosystem. And that's very well, you always worry that's not going to happen. You always worry you're going to have really cute apps, but nobody will sell them. People are willing to pay for these applications. We purchased a company that was heavily involved in both Android and the essentially the iOS system, and it's performed flawlessly for